Good evening. Tonight we will be talking about Maximum Morphonios, the life and times of my grandmother. This speech is to inform you about the life of my grandmother, Ellen James Morphonios. Let's begin first by watching a short clip.
She's Ellen Morphonios. Around the Dade County Circuit Courthouse, they call her Maximum Morphonios. During her court term as elected district judge, she has routinely handed out the biggest sentences the law allows. The defendants know this going into her courtroom. She tells them up front what will happen to them if they don't take the plea bargain and choose to go to trial.
Okay, same thing, 5, 10, 15 years state prison looks to me like now, but I'm putting it in the ready. Ask if you shall receive.
And 15 years is nothing. Just recently, for instance, she was sentencing a repeat offender involved in a robbery whose crime called for a recommended term of 9 to 12 years. Instead, this is what she gave him. Count 1.
30 years in the state prison.
Count 2.
10 years in the state prison.
Count 3.
10 years in the state prison.
Count 4.
10 years in the state prison.
She added up the years to make sure she hadn't missed anything.
I think that totaled up.
Ellen Morphonios overcame many obstacles to become America's toughest judge. This speech is important for you to hear because as a college student and in the course of your career, you will encounter many obstacles that you will need to overcome in order to succeed. Today we will talk about the 3 main areas of my grandmother's life. First, we will begin by talking about her childhood, then her journey through law school, and finally her career as the first female circuit court judge in Florida. First, let's talk about Ellen Morphonios' childhood. Ellen Morphonios grew up very poor. In Myrna Oliver's article from the Los Angeles Times on December 26, 2002, Myrna states that Morphonios grew up poor in a one-room shack on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. To say that my grandmother grew up poor is a drastic understatement. She was so poor that oftentimes her parents would have to go hungry just so that she would have enough food to eat. Oftentimes during the Great Depression, her father would have to go to other towns just to find work. At age 6, she came down with scarlet fever and almost died. During World War II, her family moved to Virginia where her father worked in a Navy shipyard. After this, they moved to Miami, Florida, where her father worked as a taxi cab driver. Even though Morphonios' childhood was very hard, her journey through law school was even harder. Ellen Morphonios went into law school in the 1950s, when most women were housewives. In her book, Maximum Morphonios, The Life and Times of America's Toughest Judge, in 1991, Morphonios says that while taking dictation as a secretary for a law school recommendation letter, she asked her boss, "As long as we're at it, would you mind writing me one of those letters too?" He looked at her as if she was crazy, but reluctantly agreed to write a letter for her also. Against all odds, she was accepted into law school without even an undergraduate degree. She went to work during the day and went to law school at night. She gave birth to 2 babies during this time and lost her 3rd pregnancy at 6 months gestation right before her final exams. After several tough years in law school, many years as an attorney, and an unsuccessful first election running for juvenile court justice, Ellen Morphonios finally won the election that changed her life forever. Ellen Morphonios became the first female circuit court judge in Florida. She was elected to the bench in 1970. Made famous for handing out tough prison sentences, sometimes even in the thousands of years, Morphonios believed, as stated in People magazine's article, Crime and Punishment, A View from Abroad, on July 3, 1989, that prisoners pick their career just as we pick ours. Morphonios retired after 30 years in the courtroom in 1991. With all these events in mind, let's do a brief synopsis of my grandmother's life. Ellen Morphonios overcame many obstacles to become America's toughest judge. Today I've explained to you the 3 main areas of my grandmother's life. First we talked about her childhood, then we talked about her journey through law school, and finally we talked about her career as the first ever female elected circuit court judge in Florida. After looking at Ellen Morphonios' life, you can know that no matter what challenges you may face in the future, you can overcome them and be anything you want to be.